Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today we're going to be going over on how to play options, specifically calls. In the next video I am going to be doing puts. I just don't want to jumble it up into one video just because the video will be like 40 minutes long. But with that being said, guys, today I'm going to go over on how to play calls for dummies. Just going to simplify it to you guys as much as possible. With that being said, guys, before we start the video, please leave a like on the video below and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. With that being said, guys, let's get started. So a lot of people, when they start their investing journey, they buy shares, they sell shares, but they start hearing a lot of talk about options. Oh, my friend, he made 20,000 selling calls, or hey, my friend lost 10,000 buying puts, or whatever the case. So today I'm going to be going over on how to play options. And like I said, guys, today it's just going to be calls. And so we're going to go to a Robinhood app and we're going to be using Delta Airlines as an example. So if you click the trade button here at the bottom, there should be a little drop menu that pops up. Is it buy, sell, and trade options? If you do not see the trade options, most likely you do not have the options traded enabled on your Robinhood app. It's super easy and it's free. You just go to your settings and you enable it super quickly, and then you'll be all squared away. So we're going to click on the trade options button, and obviously you see this screen. So we're going to click on August 28 and we're going to get started right here. So first we're going to start with what's at the top. So if you look at the top, guys, you see August 28, September 4, September 11, etc. These dates will range all the way up until 2022. And the reason that is because these are actually the expiration dates of when your contracts expire, right? So meaning that if you bought a contract on August 25th and you didn't sell it by August 28th, then your call essentially will expire for whatever price it's sitting at that day. And then come the next week, you can no longer view or buy option contracts from the August 28th date. It would have to be September 4. So at the top, you see a bunch of expiration dates. When I'm playing calls specifically or personally, I like to always buy options that expire 2 weeks out. Obviously, the closer the option is to expiration date, I know that they're cheaper, but they're also a little bit more risky. And we'll go into that a little bit more later into the video. So if you're taking a look at all the prices here, as you guys see, you see a $31 call, $30 call, $29 call, and a $28 call. And you see a bunch of numbers next to them. This is actually the price of the contract. And I know a lot of you guys might be thinking, you're like, wow, I can buy a $31 call for Delta Airlines for 16 cents. Well, not necessarily, because when you buy options, either calls or puts, every contract that you buy is always going to be times 100. Essentially meaning a call is you have the right to own 100 shares of Delta at $31 is essentially what it's saying. So if I were to put one here, my total would be $16, which is 16 cents times $100. And it's the same for all of them. If I go to the $30 call right below it, it is the exact same thing, right? You buy one, it is times $100, making the price of the contract $46. So anything above the current share price, guys, which is $29.90, anything above $29.90 or $30 car or 31, 32, etc., are considered options or contracts that are out of the money. Anything below the current share price is considered to be in the money. If your contract is in the money, that's always a good thing. So let's say you bought the $30 call today. Tomorrow, your call's in the money. It's usually a good sign. Obviously, there's a little bit of more factors that play into options, which we'll go a little bit more later into the video. But you guys get the general idea that you want your contract to be in the money, right? So as you guys scroll up to the top, it gives you a bunch of different types of calls you can buy, and I get it. The higher you go up, the cheaper it gets. I know it might be attractive to buy, a $35 call for Delta Airlines for $35 for $2. That's great and all, but the chances of you actually making money off that is very slim to none. I don't think Delta Airlines will shoot up to $35 by the time Friday hits. And I know you guys have to understand as well that options can be a little bit more tricky in the beginning, so make sure you guys do practice. So we've gone over what's on the right hand side. Those are the prices of the contract. You always multiply it by 100, and then you see the current strike prices, 33, 34, 35. That's you essentially making a call. You have a bullish sentiment on that specific price. You think that Delta Airlines will hit this by this specific date is essentially how it works. Right below those calls, you see break-even prices, 3602, 3502. Those specific prices is what Delta Airlines has to be at for you to actually break even on your contract. So come Friday, or as of now, come Friday, you would need your Delta Airlines would need to be $35.02 for you to make any money off the actual contract itself. And that's come Friday, right? Not the next day, but by the time Friday hits, $35.02 is what the price would need to be. If Delta Airlines does go up tomorrow, let's say $2, then yes, there's still a chance that your call will actually make some money. So with that being said, guys, let's continue on with the video. So like I said, when I'm playing calls specifically, guys, I like to buy calls that are in the money, and I like to do them 2 weeks out. And the reason that is one, it gives Delta Airlines to actually make a move in the direction you want it. You know, I understand that sometimes a stock can go up for a countless amount of days, but it can also go down for a countless amount of days as well. So I like to buy options that expire always 2 weeks out. And this way, not only do you have more of a chance of actually making money off the trade, but you also avoid theta eating away at the price of your contract. Now, I know you guys are going to ask, what is theta? So if we click on the $29 call here and we click here, theta is right under the Greek section right here at the very bottom. You see something called theta. Theta is essentially something that eats away at the price of your contract the closer the contract gets to the price of expiration. You guys do the math. So obviously, if you bought an August 28 call, the closer we get to August 28th, the more that theta is going to eat away at the price of your contract. And I know you guys are saying, oh, it's only 7 cents. It's not that big of a deal. You guys do have to understand, when you're playing expensive calls such as like Apple or Tesla or all those stocks, that theta can be like $100, $200, $300. And you really don't want to be losing money to theta. But you can avoid theta. You can avoid theta eating away your gains by scheduling out your contracts a couple of weeks out. You don't get hurt by theta as much. If we click on the same $29 call here and we go to theta, theta is a lot less, okay? And like I said, if you're playing a lot more expensive options and calls, like on calls on Tesla, that big theta number can make a huge difference in the price of your contract. So it's super important to remember. You guys don't have to listen to what I'm saying, but I personally recommend 2 weeks out or more. You can even buy contracts that expire all the way in January 21, 2022. Obviously, those contracts are a lot more expensive, and if you guys start to notice, right, if you go to September 4 and we're looking at the $29 call, it's $1.53. You times that by 100, $153. If we go to the September 11th one and we click on the same $29 call, it's now $184. The reason that is because the farther out you set your expiration for your contracts, the more expensive they start to get, because they do have more of a chance of actually making money. This is why people usually will buy contracts that expire 2 weeks out. And I'm not advocating that people cannot make money by buying weekly calls. I am not saying that. I know a lot of people who do make it, but it is a lot more risky. Essentially, if one wants to make money on calls, you essentially have to buy a specific strike price and hope that the specific stock you're waiting for has a big jump, whether it be from good news or a merger or something like that, causing the price of your contract to go up. Now, there is a lot of things that play in the price of the contract itself. So demand is one of them. So if a lot of people are buying your contract, it raises the price. If the price of the stock goes up, it raises the price. For example, let's say the share price right now of Delta Airlines is $29.90. You're playing the $31 call here at the top. If Delta Airlines goes to $30.50 and you bought the $31 call at $93, you will actually make money off the play. Your contract doesn't always need to be right where Delta Airlines is. So for example, if you buy the $31 call at $29.90 and then you sell it the same call $30.50, the $31 call, you probably made money off the trade. And so it's super important to remember, guys, when you're playing calls, that you always want to be careful, and you always want to make sure that I personally recommend buying options that are a couple weeks out. Never play weeklies, because theta eats away at your gains very, very quickly, especially if the stock doesn't go your way. If you're playing calls, you essentially have a very bullish sentiment. You think that the stock is going to go up and it's going to rally, and Look guys, it is a very easy way to make money if you call it right. I know people who have turned 500 bucks to 20,000 and stuff like that, but it's also a very quick way to lose money as well. All right, so what happens if come time Friday and I bought this contract for $136 and come Friday Delta did not hit $30. It went down by September 11th. So we're going to use this September 11th one. So let's say by September 11th, Delta Airlines did not hit $30. Essentially what happens is your call can expire worthless. So essentially what that means is all the money you invested into the stock or into the contract is gone. It's at $0.00. And that's if you hold it until expiration date. Let's say, come September 6th, right? And, Delta Airlines is not doing so hot. You still can sell, although you probably will sell your contract for a loss. The reason why people like playing calls, guys, is because theoretically, on paper, you can make an infinite amount of money while only losing the amount you invested. What do I mean by that? So let's say Delta Airlines decided to rally to $2,000 for absolutely no reason. You would make so much money off this actual contract right here. But if Delta Airlines were to go to $0, you only lose $136. So theoretically, the amount of money you can make is infinite, while the amount of money you can lose is already calculated. This is why people like to play options. And don't get me wrong, I like to play options too. I like to play calls here and there, although I don't like to do it all the time, essentially because it's gambling. I'd rather take this money and actually buy some shares of a stock that I'm very bullish on in the short or long term. You probably have sometimes more of a chance of making money that way anyway, but calls are still super fun. And the last thing I want to talk about calls, guys, is implied volatility. So what does that mean? Essentially, when you're playing calls on earnings dates or when a stock has big news, you'll notice that the price of the contracts are super, super expensive. And this is the reason why people don't like to play calls or puts during earnings, because if you call it wrong, essentially, if this contract was $136, it's most likely going to be like $8 the next day, because implied volatility is what makes this price of a contract go up and down. It means that a lot of people are buying them and a lot of people are selling them at the same time, or usually when there's a big event that's about to happen, implied volatility starts to kind of eat away at the price of your contract, or it can make your contract go to the moon. I'm going to do a whole separate video on implied volatility because it is a very interesting topic to talk about. But the overall gist of calls, guys, it's pretty easy to learn, right? Essentially, you have a bullish opinion about a stock. You think a stock is going to go up in the short term or the long term, right? And essentially, you can make money by calling it right. If you called that Delta Airlines was going to hit $30 by September 11, you probably are going to make some money off the contract. But with that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Thank you guys for clicking on today's video. Let me know down in the comment section below what's your favorite stock to play options on. Mine personally is the S&P 500. With that being said, guys, have a good day.